Kalam Vam Ram Yam um 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 okay. This time I'm not gonna play any frequencies. And I'm not gonna play oh, and then I'm not gonna read from my binder. And then I'm also we're gonna do 0 degree tropical ionops. So uh okay. Uh, perfect. Get it. Get it. How's your day going? Okay. Let's do tropical. We'll do tropical. We can even do tropical, and then sidereal. It gets deep. Either way, leverage Mercury. Okay. Um, where should we start? Probably Rahu Ketu. Oh, you know what? Oh, I was gonna talk about Venus because Venus. Okay, so now we're in a whole different ionom. So hold up. So remember, did your guru tell you about time travel yet, or are you stuck at this part? If you're stuck at this part, well, push it can help probably. Um. Oh, nice. W. Um. Let's see. I mean, for this stuff, I usually just go with the deities and the energy either way, because because Saturn divides divinity into the deities. So like Saturn can cover for something like shifting ionops. So like for instance, okay, Venus. I was gonna like last time I forgot to look at Venus closer in the D1 at least because it moved from I think Purva Falguni Pada 1 to Purva Falguni Pada 2 if I'm not mistaken. But that's in a different Ionamsa, which is like another way of looking at something, a different way of looking at a map, basically, or it's just basically a different perspective. Um, and basically, okay, so from a completely different perspective, like for instance, um, like okay, I guess the best hint I could give would be like everything happens backwards in Australia and the Earth is an oblate spheroid, and it's also a dragon. Um, that's the best answer I can give actually. For okay, but okay, what was that an answer for? GQ. But what? Okay, so it was gonna be from Perfect Falguni Pada 1 to Perfect Falguni Pada 2. So instead, now we're looking at it from instead of desiring um wasn't that co-inter reemanation dancing with um to more of a um because okay, Saboteur is like basically like gives really good energy of manifestation and utilizing basically all of the resources available in a given situation to basically solve a problem. So it's um like really good at puzzles, really good at like I think in the kitchen too. Um and really good at like just accomplishing things. Um yeah, putting the desire in one's hands. Dexterity, high dexterity. It's really hard to explain how because it's like literally because like Virgo is like the sign. It's more about the sign of Virgo, I think, and how it's like literally like super magical. Like I think a lot of people, the key for Hosta is digging Hosta placements out of the Navamsha chart or understanding it in the external world because it's kind of one of those situations where it's like great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? Um, like okay, I think Kobe Bryant, for instance, might have Moon in Hosta. I think either way, even if you switch the iron opposite, I think he would still have Hosta placements. And it's like, um, you know how he like copied. Well, he didn't copy, but you know how it's like when you go frame by frame and you like compare Kobe Bryant to Michael Jordan. You know how it's like it almost feels unnatural how skillfully he was able to recreate like the exact movements of Michael Jordan. It feels like he's like literally was able to carbon copy, his actions. You know what I mean? It's like he was literally able to become his shadow, um, because he like literally is like, you know what I mean? Like he literally is. It's weird. That's I think what I've been learning about Michael Jordan is he literally is Michael Jordan. Like my Kobe Bryant it literally is Michael Jordan's shadow. Um, stop. Because Virgo Leo connection. Sixth house though. Sixth house, seventh house. Sixth house, seventh house. But I think that's why Virgo. I think that's why the houses get disconnected from the signs. Like I think Taurus. Ascending in Taurus is a really good idea. Then you can have fifth house in Virgo. But Venus and Hasta. So then Venus and Hasta desiring that. Okay, I can understand. I think a little. Okay. It's like, I see. Ooh. So it really is like amazing to be fair. So I'm trying to think of Venus in Hasta because right now I've been studying it either way. So Savitar is like the sun god. It's a moon ruled nakshatra, but the Savitar is the sun god, like the god of the sunrise. Um, and he's such a cool deity as I've been learning. He's like he's like the full capacity of the like light spectrum, at his disposal, and he uses it to like literally create magic. He's like a literal magician, and he's like there'll be like some magicians where it's like you can kind of spot like the sleight of hand, but then there are like some Hasta magicians that are literally like oh, like there's no answer for how they were able to do that other than literally they like they might have like a ping pong ball in one hand and then they might like go like this and then it ends up in this hand, and they literally took the ping pong ball and it's like they literally did a magic trick, you know what I mean? it's it's mutable earth, so it's like that person could literally like have the ping pong ball like, you know unrender behind, like while you can't see it, and then render again. It's like it's because it's controlled by Mercury. So let's look at Mercury. Because Mercury rules Virgo. So well, first let's look at a loose conjunction with K2, because Venus is inherently connected to, because Mercury K2 separates, becomes Moon and Venus, right? So okay, so K2 in Uttara Falguni, I think, which is Ariaman. So I think they did switch. So is Uttara Fal? So is what he's saying that? So I don't think that. Okay, either way, it's after. After. Well, afterwards they are one. So I think that's why there was a switch. So, let's see. K2 in Uttara Falguni, but it's like basically right at the what's. It's not sublimation at that point. It becomes. Is that when it goes from Earth to fire? Is that just what? Is that just conduction? Well, because like there's air to like there's sublimation from earth to air, right? And then there's like evaporation. Well, wait. From water to fire. Oh, Gandanta, and then there's Gandanta, condensation, sublimation, condensation, Gandanta, and then K2 in Tarafel. We called that too. Um, I'm trying to think really hard. of like fixed fire, immutable earth. Oh, Vishnu. Oh, okay. I think this is okay. This is Vishnu. This is Vishnu Parvati territory then, isn't it? Or sorry, Vishnu Lakshmi territory. Um, because the Leo, the lion, yeah, that's why Vishnu is depicted as a lion, because he's the Leo consciousness in all of us. That makes us move. But once we do move, we use our hands, hasta. Utar Falguni, but why? Well, like, why would you want to move? You know what I mean? It's because to approach the fruit bearer, to bag her. Um, K2. We've separated from isolation. K2. Now that we're awake as the monadic consciousness, but we we'd prefer divinity. Divinity Karaka. Divinity Karaka's here. So I could go either from here to Fortune, from here to Mercury, here to Rahu, or I could go this way or this way. Or I want to look at the rulership. Why don't we just go kind of in order? Just because we've got all the time in the world. Okay. Mercury in Pushyapada 4. Right about to go into the Naga. So, let's see here. So, this whole time we're one piece, right? So the Guru of the Gods sits right next to the Nagas. Type. Because future me, Brihaspati, push me. Okay, because you remember how Pushya goes into Leo sometimes in Samayana. But the key is that, like, all of the relationships, like the zodiac's relationship with one another, matter that they're next to each other and across from each other, or like 3 away from each other, exactly the way they are. So it's like, Cancer is 2 Leos. The reason Cancer, the disease, is the Cancer, it's like the division of the cell. It's like the monadic state. It's like, okay, I'm tired of being alone. K2. I don't want to be alone, so it's not anymore. So it becomes the father. The full transparency becomes the mother mind. Full transparency, K2. I think this is still full transparency. I think Mercury is the dot within the sun, straight up. But you could look at any of these karkas again as the dot within the sun again, because Indira, the Ra is the sun, in the sun. All of these are in the sun. Remember, this is the Dragon Eye maximum moment. Oh, so let's interpret. Let's go. Oh, so this is why both Ainamsa work. This is what I noticed. It's more about the relationships between these. They always stay in perfect harmony. It's great. They're the only ones who can do math. They're the only ones who can do math. They can trick you into thinking you can do math. But 1 + 1 is Saturn. I've noticed this consistently. Well, this is where, so Rahu. So remember what I was talking about? There's a lot of, the content creator type. Pluto's a content creator. Good Karka King. But then, okay, so we can go, well, okay. Either way, we can look at this as Mercury. So the Mercury, the student, is in the domain of Pushya, who is in the domain of Brihaspati, who is the guru of the gods. So we are so I mean, the Dragon Eye is the guru of the gods for it. Maximum moment. Namostati. Because this thing talks, bro. This thing talks. This thing's my guru for real. Like, this is why I told somebody my guru wasn't exactly real. But you're not real, man. I'm not real. You know what I mean? Well, I'm real. I'm not AI or anything or whatever, but it's like Maya. Maya's a total illusion. But Pushya Blossoming Fortune. Psychological warfare. Blaming other people. So it has to do with divinity. It has to do with divinity and Capricorn. Yeah, there's also a Capricorn connection, because it doesn't want. I think it wants to do good. I think that's the key. So I think blaming other people starts coming into play. I know blaming people starts coming into play, but I think we should worry about that, or we should think about that right now. Um, um, nice. Okay. Rahu. First of all, fortune Abhijit. Nice. So, decisiveness for express. W. Um, but also balance and truth and balance, truth and balance. Divinity is decisiveness re-expressed. Did you know? Um, so okay, Rahu in poor. Oh, so this is okay after the sacrificial altar. Do you get it or no? Do you get it or no? It's like so Pisces. It's like when you die. So okay, Jupiter rules Pisces. Zeus. So Zeus is Jupiter. So Zoo. Zoo is like all the animals. Revati and Pisces. All the animals are conscious. Doctor Doolittle. Think about Doctor Doolittle. Okay. Think about Leos. Think about the consciousness in all of us. So Revati, if you've heard, has to do with like flocks of animals and stuff like that. Okay. Either way, the sacrificial altar is that once you die, basically you get max Zeus consciousness. You get maximum Zeus consciousness, and you're closer to monadity than divinity, I guess. But you still participate in both. You're more participating in both at the same time. You know what I mean? Um, but like arrows and knives like to divide, so it's like Taurus. Okay. But so the sacrificial altar. So Pisces a lot of time like death. 12th house. A lot of time people say 8th house represents death. People say 12th house represents death. Death is not real. Again, death is not real while we're doing these astrologies, and you can play these on repeat. You can play these on repeat. So Purva Bhadrapada because okay before Purva Bhadrapada before the sacrificial altar, Uttara Bhadrapada after the sacrificial altar. So there's like entering into like dipping your toes basically into it's basically like well there's actually K2 connection because like once you detach and are like okay with death, that's when immortality is granted. But if you're not okay with detaching from it, then it's gonna be like then you're always gonna you're gonna keep being tested on it until it matters either way. Or until you figure it out either way. In this life, the next or the last, whatever you want to call it. But Rahu in before the sacrificial altar, but the fourth pada before the sacrificial altar. So it's kind of like you're really in the sacrificial altar at that point. Previous lucky foot. Ladder, lucky foot. I'm trying to think because I've had different thoughts of whether or not. Oh, because they're bigger. That's why. It's because okay, wait. It's because this is about okay. The last. It's because Uttara Bhadrapada 1. That's a Pisces Navamsha. So that's like, I think you could say that's you could say that's well, because then you get after the sacrificial altar. Okay, but either way, it's all about quantum. It's all about quantum mechanics. The whole point of these is they're trying to tell you that it's both at the same time. If you don't understand that the nakshatras are the CEOs of cusping greatness and that they're mansions and that they're bigger than houses, it's going to be confusing because Purva Bhadrapada is supposed to encompass these two. It's supposed to be all the way from here to all the way from there. It's supposed to show you all. It's supposed to show you a wider spectrum. So let's think critically, because it's Rahu. So thinking critically about just entering into the sacrificial altar, which I think is doing different inops. Because I'm a Lahiri guy. I think Dragon Earthers unite in Lahiri. I think Dragon Earthers think that the Earth is an oblate spheroid. But they also believe that it's the cardinal Earth and it's a heart that can beat, and and it outscales your well, it is your verse, and it is your verse. Actually, technically, it was partitioned. It was nerfed. It needed this nerf. You understand? It needed this nerf. Okay, that was Rahu. We talked about the fortune, Mercury, third house to in a Taurian ascendant's third house, but in the oh, I see what you're saying. So we could call it the Plutonic chart. Well, why don't we call it the Plutonic chart for this type of stream? So in the Platonic, so whatever house it gives us or whatever, we'll just, because usually with transits is because everybody has, you could say everybody has a different assignment. We'll just call it the Plutonic chart or the Plutonian chart, whichever one I say at any given time, or the Pluto. You know what I mean? Because I'm creating content. And either way, you just need to leverage Mercury. So Mercury is learning from Brihaspati in the third house of communication, W. I'm one of those people who, because I have a Mercury Jupiter conjunction, so I learn as I teach, and I get to act smart as I learn and teach at the same time. W. Let's talk about the fourth house. Jupiter conjunct the Sun in Maga, expansion in the Dragon Eye, maximally opposite from the maximum moment on Typish. K2 rule, Nakshatra in Leo, Maga, the Pitris, the forefathers. If you've ever heard Cancer in a past life, Leo in the next life, it's like the Lord is our shepherd, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know how like some people say when you die you go to heaven to meet Jesus. How about when you die you become the Leo, you know what I mean? But there's different ways to die. You can die in the way that you used to view the world, Sagittarius. I've noticed this. Sun rules the fourth house. So okay, in the home, I'm in my home right now. I am a son, and I teach myself every time. Every time I rewatch my videos, I learn something else because I mentioned something that I wasn't thinking about. I was talking about it the first time. So how we doing on time? Not too bad. So expansion there too. Expansion in the Atma. Expansion in the soul. Wisdom in the soul. Maga and the Pitris. Okay. Transcendental meditation in the Pitris and Maga. K2, exactly. So time travel. So there's this whole situation with Brahma, right? There's no Rohini place. Oh, Abhijit. Abhijit has a Brahma connection, but because basically, again, you know how it's like, there's like a lot of memes on Twitter where it's like tweeting into the void, and then it's like somebody talking to a brick wall, right? Well, as above, so below. That's basically what God's doing. So he preaches to the choir of the Pitris. You know what I'm saying? So basically, Varuna was telling me he'd like to have the whole squad laughing, and I couldn't agree. I think his top is honestly pretty slick. G, I think it's pretty slick. Right at home makes me feel at home. K2 in the fifth house. W. K2 the CEO of W. Type the army that's already won. W. K2 and Uttar Falguni. Ariyaman. Type. And Sun ruled. So Sun ruled Nakshatra. K2 in the Sun ruled Nakshatra. Sun in the K2 ruled Nakshatra. Jupiter in the K2 ruled Nakshatra. Wow. Cancer connection. Wait. And Mercury in the Jupiter Nakshatra, even though it's a Saturn Nakshatra. So should we look at Saturn? Saturn Bharani Pada 1. It's a good question. Scorpio moment. Whoa. Yeah, anyone like bouncy balls? What goes down must come up. What goes down. What goes. What? Principle, right? Something about stealing your mind on one of the poles. We could go to the 12th house of mysterious powers in Aries. Oh, dude, Aries is the bro. He's the bro. Zeus Tatva, bro. Maharis. Saturn in Maharis type. Okay. I think this is about like, because it's a G and I, right? It's like, you know how I'm always complaining to somebody, you know what I mean? In this items, I have push it placements, you know what I mean? Like, I think, future me, you know what I mean? Like the partition version of me that I don't identify with, consciously. think he's he looks a lot like Saturn in freaking Aries. Saturn debilitated in Aries. Let's think about this. So the god of space and time in Aries, cardinal fire. I mean, coming out of Pisces basically. So, doing what you want to do, creating, doing what you want to do, bearing down. Tough time. So Saturn's kind of putting everybody's butt to the fire. Sounds like. Um, Making everybody grind mysterious ways. Yeah. Freaking Zeus works in mysterious ways. I'm telling you. Yeah, he works in. It's called Varanus combos. In Varanus combos, VARUNA. GQ. 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 12th house. 12th house is also a bed. I'm in my bed right now. Shani Karka. Shani Karka, Shani logo. Yeah. W. Conjunct Neptune. Conjunct Neptune, but it's a pretty loose and it's separate way because Neptune's retrograde. So all right, okay. I appreciate that. The K2 connection in Ashwini. Deep breath. Oh, news too, but maybe we'll look at news after we finish the D1. Let's see. Okay, so, let's go to Mars. Because Neptune, I'm pretty sure always has 12th house connection. I'm pretty sure Neptune is actually 12th house Karaka. If you ask me, right there with Lilith, right there with Lilith and Moon, straight up, and okay, let's go to because 8th house. Okay, let's go to different. Mars rules Aries in Gemini. Mars in Gemini. We're leaving mid-Gemini, late Ardra in this Ionopsa. Mars in Ardra, dude. Vulcan top, bro. Hold up. Mars is always pointing to where it finna go, though. Where it finna go? Up into the right. Sagittarius top. So it's talking to the moon. Mars is talking to the moon. Scorpio, loose conjunction with Uranus, right? We were talking about this, but now we're contemplating Mrigashira. Beautiful unpredictability, and but specifically in the upward expansive sense. And then Mars action in Ardra. Mars in Ardra. Mars is it's a Rahu activation, a critical thinking activation. It's like how can this be great, basically, you know what I mean? Ardra. It is tough. It is a tough place, but it's a great place. It's like the reason why things have to be hard, but it's because Gemini. There's always this huge Gemini and Sagittarius connection. It's because you are a Gemini. Sagittarius teaches us you are a Gemini. Usually through touring us. Sagittarius. Mars and Ardra. So if you're like a true Gemini, you'll notice that right as you pull up your birth chart, Mars is here and then it's here. In the Plutonic chart, it is. And then I'm pretty sure this empty gap here was basically hinting that it was Vulcan to me. This is ruled by Mercury. So we're talking about Brihaspati. So the Tour, again, let the Tour be the teacher. Mercury, let us be surrounded by it. Real talk. So Mars action in Ardra though. Action Ardra in the second house and getting money, about accumulating wealth with Ardra, about accumulating art with Ardra. So Ardra has to do with animals. It has to do with curiosity. It has to do with research. It has to do with meditation. It has to do with yoga. It has to do with strength training. It has to do with being a man, really. Becoming a man. Rudra becoming a man. Like Rudra, like the male journey. The Tour, really. Accepting oneself, accepting your shadow, because I think Ardra has a lot to do with like judgment and hypocrisy. and being ungrateful. And I think a lot of it is like you get out what you put in. Um, so action. You get out what you put in, right? So I guess I don't know. I guess I'm putting in like 20 or like 15 view worth of content or something like that. But okay. Guru, how do I put out billions of views worth quality content? Cue that up, please, and thank you. Amen. I hear. Okay. I hear amen. Okay. Nice. Mercury T ascending in Murgashira W Uranus connection. Let us be dear. Let us be dear. Fickle. Let us research. That's a good cue for Murga. Murgas are researchers. So researching in the first and second house. So right. So it's a clear thing we're doing because we've been trying out a bunch of different ion ops, and then I'll go back to what I prefer. Sure. Sense must pathways soma. Seeking. What am I seeking? Gold. Gold's my current soma. Gold, and also like, I guess like the illusion of status. Just for plot reasons mostly. I think just because of accumulated desires, I think is my biggest problem. That's why I'm not allowed to sit and just meditate. That's what Capricorn parents are. An agitator for real. It's auspicious, luckily. Well, I mean, how else could it be, right? And shout out to my homies too. Which way do we want to go? First house? Or I kind of wanted to think moon, but, well, right, Chiron, because we're in the first house. Very loose conjunction. Critica. Okay, Critica potted 2. So Critica is Cutter. Also a critical thinker. But it's the kind of critical thinking that's a bit more Pleiadian in nature. Like, feels unfair. It's giving Dinishta unobtainable allegianation. There's always a bigger dipper. But let that be Chiron. Let Chiron be the Magar. Sun ruled Nikshatra. That's what I'm saying. Because there's a literal sun. That's the thing with sun ruled Nikshatras. Like, let's say you want to be the main character in your life. Like, if you let the sun represent the main character in the story, which, spoilers, it does, it's like, well, it represents the hero's journey, but the hero is the hero's journey. What was I saying? If you want to use the sun, am I about to push limitation on something? Maybe. Sun plus moon. Mercury is just sun plus moon. What if it was sun plus? Well, I mean, no. Well, Venus is just sun plus. sun plus. It's fair. Okay, but again, healer. Chiron represents the healer. Chiron, Karka. The wounded healer. Alright, this troll. Oh my gosh. Taurus. Okay, the wounded healer in Taurus. Yeah. Okay. So Critica. So I think Critica is the story about Kartikeya being taken in by the 7 sisters, the 7 wives of the sages, and essentially they teach. They teach Kartikeya how to navigate the world of monsters, basically, because he gets isekai'd into a fantasy world where magic is real. So the 7 sisters, because baddie's bad. So the 7 sisters, the 7, or you could just in my own opposite this 7 baddies bad. The 7 Kumari. Teach Kartikeya combat. Mortal combat. the Taurus, so Taurus connection. How to Aries. They teach Kartikeya how to overcome their vitras, overcome their manifest their desires, which is basically just that, like, basically whatever you desire is like, oh yeah, if you've read The Alchemist, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, everything you want is already kind of pre-laid out and ahead of you. Um, a lot of that kind of healing energy, it looks like, from Chiron, thanks to this Chiron and Critica activation. Let's talk. Or should we go through all the houses? Or, sixth house vertex in the sixth house vertex androgyny, because we're talking about the connection between Indra and Agni. Androgyny. So that's the perspective. So the perspective is the tour. Here's the thing. It's like, yeah, I think because of my freaking sidereal chart, a lot of the like, if I don't see that the news is happening, then there's no news happening. So like a lot of the transits are just going to be astrological interpretations until, like, I don't know what else. Like there's a lot of like Iran stuff, but Iran is just like a retrograde, basically like a VIR go Iran. It's like IRAN. Like if you turn this upside down, it's an A, and it's like a lot of these look like N, or Capricorn looks like N. IRAN. Iran. It's just like, and then it's talking about how Mars went from and then disappeared. It's like a whole thing because they jumped, and it's like, either way, it's all astrological, guys. Um, either way, it might surprise you. Vishaka is the absolute best at surprises. Did you know? Did you know? Because if you caught Vishnu off guard, holy crap! Oh, that's like a total upscale. What do you get it or no? Either way, descending in Jeshta Pada. Yeah, I think it's Pada 3. Allotment. Allotment. Well, let's just think. Well, we could also do it this way, because 12, 11, Aquarius. So cusping in here. So the Dhanishta, so in the sign opposite the Dhanishta part of Jeshta. Descending there? Really? Infinite powers, 2 infinite? 1-8, yeah. We can agree there. So again, Indra. So, DSC. DSC. So, I mean, I do all these to collab with my Indra YouTube channel, so, either way, it should be DSC Indra. So there's that connection in the seventh house of contracts. So if you type stuff up, or if you write stuff down, that's a type of contract in certain Sephiroth, in certain Spheroths. In Spheroths, it is. Promises have different layers of Spheroth. Vitar Falguni goes into Libra and different inoms. So, cool. Moon conscious experience, and plus bonus conscious experience in Purvashada. Hemming, whole time earnestly Hemingway. Purvashada opposite of the rune. So this has to do with Vitra and your desires being connected to your conscious experience and separated from them, but intertwined. Because basically Indra wants to save Appas, but it's like Hakuna Matata, bro. It's like, dude, chill out. It's like everything's already kind of taken care of in advance. I'm a culprit of this for sure, but so the thing is, so the reason the Ionops switch it the way they do is because, again, Appa's, so because Vitra, so because whatever like, Vitra is symbolic for your desires. So like whatever your desire is, whatever your desire in life is, that is your Vitra. So, um, the lesson of Appas and the story of that this is trying to show us is that, again, it's kind of like the alchemist. It's like, and it's why Varuna was like kind of like just letting Varuna, or sorry, why Varuna was letting Marut just kind of go straight into the job. It was because it was to teach him the lesson. Um, but of course, you can do it. You were made to do exactly what you want to do, um, even if at first you didn't succeed. Type. Um, Apis Apis connection with the river Ganges. Apis has connection with spiritual warriors. Um, Purvashada in Sagittarius. Okay. Purvashada in mid Sagittarius. Wow. Because Purvashada is really overpowered. Because you know how did you hear Vic? Did you see Vic? And Vic told you to. Vic said that. Vic told Indra that like basically Apis doesn't need help. Apis doesn't need help. Apis is Vitra taking herself up. You know what I mean? Like basically, Indra's basically just uneducated about the rain cycle. You know what I mean? Indra basically Varuna's telling Indra to go watch The Lion King, and that's what being Indra is. Conscious experience Purvashada. Taurus. So Purvashada has the connection of Purvashada has to do with initiating victory. Purvashada, and it's like the lesson is so once you gather together every resource, all the accumulated resources that have to do with the task that you want to accomplish, and then combine them together. Well, right. That I mean, combine. It's the synthesis of all of the resources that are related to the goal, that is initiates victory. Everything is water. This is the whole problem with Gandanta. So it's like because ether. So towards like a certain part of. All right, I forgot to do that. Okay. All right. Okay. Around here. Yeah. Yeah, we get to a certain point where we're ether, and ether is air, fire, water, and earth. It's all the top of. You can say it's not too different from mine. I'm not even gonna lie. Look, Karaka's logo. Karaka's logo. Nice. W. What was I going on about? Oh right, so fire, water, earth. Um, oh, they're because they're rain cycles because we are one. So because the rain and the water and right, the interconnectedness of it all, the conscious experience. But the moon and being separated from it symbolizes a reason to not want to be completely aware of the connectedness of it in a certain way, at least at the start. Otherwise, we wouldn't incarnate the way we keep doing. You know what I mean? And I don't know. At least that's what the argument is. At least that's what the argument is. Basically, they're saying either identify as a woman or. It's tough, bro. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough for the mercurial ones. It's tough for the mercurial ones. For the Martian mercurials. Okay. And that's eighth house connection. Oh, I didn't talk about Mars ruling and the Venus ruling and Mercury ruling. Well, okay, Mercury ruling the fifth house of self expression. I'm talking, and that's how I'm expressing myself. Venus problem solving. I love astrology, to be fair, but what we want. If you're watching this, you probably love astrology. Um, Ask Gemini. Um, ruling the sixth house of problem solving. My problem is I don't have enough gold. In my opinion, I don't have as much gold as I'd prefer to have. Not even close. Not even close. I want it. I want it. I want to have like. I want it. I want it. I want it. I want it in my hands. Hosta style. Um. And then cool. Ruling six house problems. What's your problems? Meditate on where what your problems are. Um. Your desires will point you to how to solve those problems. Plutonically, if you leverage Mercury correctly. Nemo. Stati. Seventh house of connection and contracts ruled by Mars, Gemini, Mars and Gemini, Mars and Ardra, creating something, achieving something. For me, that's Nikshatra's doing something in a different item, so contracts type. Okay, and then eighth house of occults, but also infinite. Eighth house of the infinite power through that you get from the occult. Because if you turn the 8 sideways, it's an infinity. That's why they say Scorpio's the max, or the 8th house is the max. That's the max. That's the max. You probably learned about astrology before you got to college, before you got to higher education. But either way, Jupiter ruling the 8th house of occult. Pitris, our forefathers, huh? I think like the floor of my ambitions is to become a Pitri, like the absolute veridum. If I haven't already stamped out as a stamp, clawed out a Pitri spot, then namaste. Eighth house okay. Ruling the tour, Marga Pitris K2, fourth house in the home. Leo, Stiti, right. We could all do this. We're about to get to okay. Let's keep going. Fortune and midheaven in the ninth house. Saturn ruling the ninth house of higher education. Fortune in the ninth house of higher education. You could say nakshatras are higher education of zodiacs. You could say Abhijit is higher education of nakshatras. Saturn. Okay, midheaven though. Let's look at that for the Karka, and then in initial part 1 and 2. I think we remember a lot about those padas. A lot of legionation and opt intense, freaking glory, gains, glowing, gravity. Just hella exaltation, glowing gravity. Yes, Capricorn City. Because I'm actually a Capricorn Glazer, bro. It's just like there's a lot of highs and lows. There's a lot of highs and lows with the connection because it's like, bro, it's like, dude, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's just like because of my level of ignorance, I can only see so much while being a forward thinker. So it's like even though I can rely on my intuition for some things, it's like I like my um my blood still gets boiled by like Capricornian rage bait. Um, Again, Capricorn because of the scapegoat. Not because any specific Capricornian I dislike. You know what I mean? I don't dislike any Capricorn native. It's just that the literal god of Capricorn, that is Capricorn, literally grinds my gears, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, bro. And it's specifically the Capricorn specifically is not Varuna. It's specifically not Varuna. Varuna specifically unencompassed to the Capricorn. Don't forget. Don't forget. So I don't even disrespect Guru like that. Lock in though. Lock in. Because even the Capricorn gets to hide out in Aries, cardinal signs. Namo. So it's like don't hate on an Aries, bro. Don't hate on an Aries, bro. Hey, Aries is the main character. Maybe like you can like again it's like punch a punching bag. You know what I mean? Like or punch like the literal earth. Punch the literal cardinal earth. You know what I mean? Punch a wall or something if you really need to punch up. Go to a rage room or something. Go to a rage room. That's like all the stuff in a rage room decided to be broken. Cardinal earth, it decided to do that. Ninth house, you'll find luck there too. Just in cardinal earth, you'll find good luck. Capricorn's great. It's just and it can handle so much of my. It's just the only. It's just where I go to handle. It's the only. I don't know who else can handle the like my rage really. I'm angry at myself. I saw a W thread that was like, as a Capricorn, it's always you. It's never us. Exactly. Seventh from Cancer. Type. Type. It's always you. It's never us. It's always right. But it's like that's why they're there. That's why they're there. It's to take responsibility. Pushiest too. Pushiest too. Saturn ruled. Saturn ruled. Mars, ninth house luck. Good luck there too. That's why you should Taurus. From well, another reason to Taurus. Pluto in Dhanishta, part of 4. Pluto and Dhanishta. Oh, right. We talked about the 10th house. 10th house in. Okay, so with the whole sign, we could also do Placidus. We could do Maya and Opposite and then do Placidus houses next. School, you guys, there's so much to do, so much to see, so much wrong with taking the back seat. You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Dhanishta. 6-8. 6-8. Talk. So okay, right. Yeah, in love with the 10th house. Danisha loves the 10th house on some type ish. 10th house ruler. Saturn in the 12th house. Really the 9th and 10th houses. Dude, way to hold it down, Danisha. I love Danisha, bro. I love Danisha. Oh, and we can keep switching up because I really do like doing both because they both work. And it's like literally because like sometimes like if you want to like I don't know, sometimes you like if you wanted to do this for like 12 hours you could just like keep switching back and forth between ion and opposite. You could if you had enough. This is a pot of 4 placements combined with maybe some Shaka, Mula, Shadow Bisha for sure, but accessibly Mriga. You might need some Mriga. Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, I forget Duolingo. Okay. Okay. And then, so 10th house, yeah. So Saturn ruling the 10th house. It's the natural ruler of the 10th house. It's always like, because Saturn represents discipline. No matter what, like, again, this is, I don't know, maybe is this my 7th? This particular, astrology video or something? I don't know. Either way, but I don't know, but it's like my 1,000th YouTube video. Do I suck at this or what? Holy crap. I feel like my grandpa's telling me I suck at this. My grandpa's Shawnee logo. Tough. Okay, and then 11th house in Pisces. Community ruled by Jupiter. Type. All right, let's look at the news. Trump orders signage warning visitors of inaccurate information at Smithsonian. I think 10th house, if you're going to have to do with a presidency, I think you always should go to the 10th house. I really think you should. Because if us A 1-0, Trump orders. Okay, Trump orders. But descendants in the 3rd. So let's see. Trump orders signage. Trump orders signage warning. Trump. Well, first of all, Indra is the usurper, so Trump and Trump is a Jace to dog whistle. Trump orders. And again, because gives demands. But signage warning? Visitors of inaccurate information at Smithsonian. Okay. This is going to be a hard one. Okay. Holy crap. At Smithsonian? Museums is 9th house. Higher education. Oh my god, this is hard. But you could also say Jupiter is president. Or you could say Uranus is president. So which one? You could do it based on because you could I guess Weenie. You get unanimously. Is this and unanimously interpreted pathways? So do we have to make this up now? What do we call Trump? What do we want to call Trump? I say, well, we could we could easily just call Trump the Chiron. We could easily call Trump Chiron. Um, yeah, let's do that. Because if you're hating on Trump, you need to look in a mirror. Always. If you hate on anyone, you need to look in the mirror. If I was hating on the game, I'm rigged. I'm rigged. I hate how rigged my story is. Um, um, let's see. Okay, so let's use Trump as Chiron, the wounded healer. Okay, so Trump orders signage. So Taurus ruled by Venus. So so let's say Virgo made order signage. Trump order signage. Because anytime you blame yourself, again, or blame somebody else, you're blaming yourself, though, right? So whatever. So signage warning visitors. Okay, signage. I'm trying to think. I was writing. Second house is third. Is second house writing or is third house writing? I think third house is writing. Second house is speaking. Third house is writing. Okay. Oh, you could say fourth house. Wait, no. No. Third house is writing. So Trump orders signage warning visitors of inaccurate information at Smithsonian. Because I think this is clearly a dog whistle about INOMSA and switching between Lahiri and Tropical. Warning visitors of inaccurate information. Really? I mean, it has been a whole hour, but this is when we started. Inaccurate information? Oh, sorry. Venus and Hasta Pada 2. Okay. So Venus in the fifth house of self-expression. The Smithsonian. There's something to the Smithsonian. Smithsonian. Because Vulcan is a smith. Because Vulcan is the blacksmith of the gods. And we were talking about how Vulcan, the Mars connection, because Mars goes, Mars leaves, Mars is it action? Mars creates movement. Mars is Vishnu. Orders signage warning of inaccurate information. Inaccurate information? At the Smithsonian. Okay, this is a Dinesh Distati, I think. So don't take anything personally. All of this is accurate. All of this is so there must be actually there actually must literally be there literally is inaccurate information at the Smithsonian. And it's not saying there's incorrect information, it's just inaccurate. So that if it's off by any amount, it's inaccurate. Okay, I believe you. I believe you. Fortune there. So all Lakshmi. So inaccurate information, but that creates fortune. I don't know. Okay, Venus though, Lakshmi connection. Let's see. Saturn. Okay, presidency. Okay, I guess. Okay, we can say Trump is Chiron, but the president is Saturn. Shawnee, you could say more of a Shawnee logo, but it's kind of a Shawnee Karka position. Shawnee position. Shawnee, 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 Shawnee yoga. I don't know. We'll think about it. It's because like Saturn has to do with law. But you could say also, you could say this is the only problem is depending on Capricorn placements is like, bro, like, isn't could you not say Trump is just the head, also the judge, whoever the head judge is or whatever? Well, who's the judge? It's because in the global sense, the president becomes more powerful. I think there's more. I think they're more influential. Uh, so then, orders What's so important about the warning visitors of inaccurate information at the Smithsonian? Okay, 12th house, infinite power. Mars was talking about the Black Smithsonian. Warns of, so ninth house, higher education. Capricorn. So Capricorn is like, so it's altruistically, so it's impossible to lie. So it's impossible to actually lie altruistically. If you have to spell everything out forwards, backwards, like I can't do this. I cannot do this, but I will not, but I won't not do this or something. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of flimsy words that make Capricorns easy to dance around cancers. The Capricorn able to dance around all of the infinite cancers. But I think the connection here is Bahani. Okay, wait. I think right now maybe there'll be a storyline where Trump watches my YouTube video and judges whether or not my interpretation of the situation was worthy. Because Bahani has to do with judges. Right now, I'm judging if my interpretation of the situation is good. But the truth is that I can imagine that there would be thousands of inaccuracies. Maybe the inaccuracy was saying that there was inaccuracies at the Smithsonian because altruistically, it could be perfect. Because it was in quotes. It was in a single quote that they put inaccuracies. So, inaccurate information. Maybe literally the words inaccurate information in the Smithsonian. That's my guess. Because you have to be careful with the altruistic cap. The altruistic captain of capping, Captain Capricorn. Me and the devil, side by side. No, Varuna thinks forward, so different Karka, bro. Surf retrograde. No, this king good, dude. This king good. Finish off with the D9 city. Real quick, Rahu Ketu Lakshmi. I think that was good enough for me with this Ainamsa. I usually go with different Ainamsa. But for me, all of those logos added up. A wounded healer starting it through Trump. Inaccurate information. So ninth house higher education. Fortune. The literal words inaccurate information at the Smithsonian. Altruism. Capricorn. Cap. R.I. Corn. Okay. Okay. Right. Like, am I full of crap? All gurus are full of crap. If you eat, you're full of crap. From the 12th house of, like, infinite power, how you could do that. Very creatively. Warns visitors. He's just warning of the literal words of. Okay, I think that matches up. I think the thing is there's not a lot of, like, news has to happen. There's not a lot of, like, news things have to happen. I think honestly the main thing is that I view myself as the news. Well, let's go D9. Let's go D9. Rahu Ketu Lakshmi. Still. It's alright. I trust. 360-540-82049. T-Mobile, that's my T-Mobile number. I got that number from T-Mobile. Hit me up. How's your guys' day going? But next time, yeah, I really like my words though, because I do this all the time like this. But as someone who does it all the time like this, doing it while with the words, oh my god, it's just like, because it helps you just like, it enriches it, just it's so enriching, and those are gonna get, because I'll download those like as I am in the middle of, but eventually when I'm gonna write the 2.0 version of those on a yacht. It's gonna be so nice. I'm speaking that into existence as an esoteric Sagittarian. I'm putting my foot down on that. Okay, Rahu Ketu Lakshmi. Let's start with Lakshmi. You know why? Because Lakshmi. That's why. And Lakshmi. Okay, I think this is about instantaneous pathways, but okay. Ashwini Nakshatra, the twin horsemen, the twin horses split in K2. Let's finish how we started it. You can get Ashwini. I like getting Ashwini all the way in Cancer. You can even do, because kind of like a double splitting point. I look at Ashwini like the twin horses. Basically, Indra doesn't know that he is the twin horses, and he wants to keep it that way actually. So I think we need a whole web to keep it together just because of that actually. And we start with Ashwini. When I was in high school, I remember saying to one of my best friends, or to my best friend, I was like, well, to my guru, for real. I was like, I told him that I just like had this feeling that I was gonna have twin sons, when I'm older, and I was gonna name them Achilles and Perseus. And I really, literally just view Rahu and Ketu as Achilles and Perseus, and I view those as the twin horses, and that's why they look like horseshoes and harps, and that's why they're called liars, because they look like harps. Okay, fortune in Ashwini. That's my fortune. That's what fortune in Ashwini means to me, personally. In the ninth house, higher education. There you go. There you go. That's my truth. Anyways, when was that? That was like probably around 2016. That was between 2016 and 2017 or 2018. I don't know. Okay, K2. K2 and Uttarashada, Pada 2. Circum accountability. I think so. In the sixth house, problem solving, Uttarashad. Om Vishvabhyo Devibhyo Namaha. Om Vishvabhyo Devibhyo Namaha. Om Vishvabhyo Devibhyo Namaha. This to me is like splitting up into the 27. It's like the K2 represents the army that has already won. K2 and Uttarashada, ultimate victory. D9, result of the detachment in the D1 is permanent ultimate victory. W. Hopefully that I mean, I'm attaching that to the aura on my body. You can too. It would have helped if you also did it the last time I asked you to meditate on K2 on the aura around your body. That's the reason I asked you to do it. Okay. And then the same thing with Rahu. Everything that I'm saying, the aura around my head, the result. Buddhavasapada 4, the eternal reignition, rebecoming, drying out to be replumpened. Aditi. Space. Oh, but I see Daksha connection. Okay. Daksha and Aditi, the eternal rebecoming, dimorphic pairs. So talking dimorphic pairs, talking about rebecoming, cosmic greatness with Gemini and Cancer. Rahu, think about this critically rebecoming. How can we draw this out? I think we can just end this here. I think we can just end this here. I think I'm gonna drink some chlorophyll. That'd be the best way for me to activate that Rahu. Well, it starts as Rahu. It was around my head, and now it's in my Atma. I think I'm still getting trolled. All right. What else? What else could I say about that? That's the result. Right. Rebecoming. I've never been disappointed by a Punarvasu rebecoming. It's always peak. It's glow up. Punarvasu is the CEO of glow ups. So, Rahu.